Everybody, Scorpion here. So I'm gonna do a little recap on my event trailer and the solar install, and kind of link down below where everything is and where you can find some of this stuff if you're interested. So stick around. All right, so going to the top here is going to be the solar panels. It's going to be 5 370 watt panels. They are done in series, and it is coming in and hooked to that piece right there and going down through the ceiling into the inside. All right, and here we have the EG4 6000, 8000. I don't remember. Anyway, we have the EG4 mini split. This is the small one that they do. I have it mounted to the tongue up here where I can get a grill cover over it when I go down the road and all that good stuff. You can see the high pressure and low pressure line, which are these two right here, running inside into the unit out here, and this is the electrical. So I covered everything just to help keep the sun off of it and keep the sun from messing it up, and I sealed the hole here. Not the most beautiful job in the world, but it'll work. It'll keep water out and bugs and stuff out. Here you can see the drain line, and you can see it's been dripping on the ground. This mini split runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and has been running for close to a year straight with no maintenance whatsoever done to it. So I just put a plate down here, secured it to the frame, and then I secured the mini split to the plate. As you can see, it's not going anywhere. So that's the outside of the trailer as far as EG4 products. This I bought online. This is sealed, goes straight through. So this is, I set mine up to be 15 amps. I can charge it off of 15 amps in case I'm at a event or something like that. I can run a regular 15 amps to it, or if somebody doesn't have one close, I can use a small power station to charge, and that's just in case my batteries get low or I don't have sunlight during the day or something like that. So it's 15 amps into a battery charger, 20 amps out of the battery charger straight to the rails for the batteries. All right, so as we walk into the trailer here, ooh, it's cold in here. You will see I've got lights hanging up everywhere. So I've got 3 LED lights here, 3 LED lights here, and then at the front I have a 4 bulb LED light. And for future endeavors, I'd never put a 4 in something this small again. Y'all check this out. Yeah, you need sunglasses. That's crazy. It may come down. So with that said, I've got the cap off of the EG4 right now. We'll get back to that here in a second. Underneath, this is the lines coming from the mini split, coming through the wall there. That 15 amp charge is behind the batteries. This is one of the bus bars right here. That is the 15 amp in and 20 amp out battery charger. So most of everything I'm showing came directly from EG4, and it will be linked below. If we slide over here, let me get this out the way. Alright, so in the center, I built this rack myself, okay? This rack is not from EG4. It did twist a bit on us when we welded. As you can see, some of the holes don't line up perfect, but I can still get a bolt in there. Not a big deal. I did go ahead and bolt the bottom two in because I had those first. That was the first two batteries that I purchased, and later I purchased two more. So we have the Life Power 4 batteries, two of those, 100 amp hour apiece. And then we have the new Life Power 4 battery that is 100 amp hours each. These are all ran together to the bus bars. All four batteries go to the bus bars. You got positives over here. No, sorry. You got negatives running to the bus bar back here. I'm not sure if you can see it at all. Kind of dark back there. And then all the positives are running to the other bus bar that I showed you over here. And I mounted those on the back wall for the purpose. I wanted to be able to tape them up and I've got grandkids and stuff like that, so I didn't want it to be real easy access for them to get to. I put the covers back over these. I had to do some modifications because I built my own wires to do that, because the wires that came with it wasn't long enough. So I had to modify everything a little bit. As you can see, not the most beautiful job, but it works. So I modified that myself without any problem. All the batteries are talking to each other. There is a trick to go from this battery to this battery. Nothing super complicated, but there was an issue there for a while that everybody had to figure out, and we got that figured out, and EG4 helped me through that. You do have to list your batteries, which one's primary, number 2, number 3, and number 4, using the dip switches, and they're different on the older batteries than they are on the newer batteries. And you also have to list your protocols on them. All that's in the book. It's super easy, no big deal. So that takes care of all that. So now we get up here. Well, we'll just go ahead and show the rest of the mini split. So the mini split, this comes with the remote. The buttons on the remote, they activate, activate the unit, turn it on, turn it off, change the temperature up and down, change the speed, change from heat to cold. I mean, pretty much anything you would want it to do. This thing has done a really good job. I have had it running in the hottest days in the high 90s with the heat index over 100, and I've had it running in the coldest days and nights. Heat index actually went below 0. Heat index, cold index, whatever. Wind chill, there you go, made it below 0. And in this trailer, it has kept it exactly 70 degrees without any problem whatsoever. I have not yet once come in here and this thing was running hard. So part of that's got to do with their efficiency and how they do their setup and how great their product is. And like I said, this has been in for pretty much a full year, and there's been no issues out of it. Nothing's had to be cleaned, nothing's had to be anything, which you really should clean them, probably yearly anyway. I did insulate the ceiling and all the walls in this trailer, so that does play an effect. But this is a 22-foot car hauler. The floor is just wood. There's no insulation on the floor. The back door, there's no insulation. It's just wood. And then you've got that big side door right there. It's just wood. There's no insulation there. So, but everything else is insulated. You can see where I sealed up the tape in the back top. Put wood over the insulation. This is all custom built, done by me. So this is the EG4 6000. So just to kind of give you a quick rundown. Let me turn the light on. There we go. All right, quick rundown. This is your battery. So this goes straight from the battery plus and negative, and this is your breaker for it, 200 amp breaker. Goes straight down to the bus bars. The bus bars are carrying all 4 batteries and the charger. So technically the charger can feed straight to the panel, or if batteries need charging, it can charge the battery. So that 20 amp charger was a great investment in my opinion. So it can give me power this way or down to the batteries, either way, not a problem. So your load here, this is going over to my panel or breaker box that I installed that runs everything in the trailer. This right here is your communication wire. It runs to down to the batteries and lets everything talk together, so it knows what batteries where, what charge it is, all of that wonderful stuff. This right here is going to be your PV, which is coming from your solar panels. It comes straight in, connects up. So I still have a grid and a generator line that I'm not using, and I've had a lot of people say, well, why didn't you pipe in straight for a generator, that kind of thing. Well, because I think that charger will take care of it. And it'll recharge my batteries and everything, and I don't have to run another set of pipe and wires up here and that kind of thing. So I've got two power inputs technically, if I needed them, that I could run in on this. So I mean, this is probably more than I need technically, or for most people in a setup like this, but I'm gonna kind of get to some equipment and show you what I'm running off of this, so you know why I went as big as I did. So over here is its dongle. You can Bluetooth or internet, either one, connect to this, and it shows you all your stats here. So I'm 147 volts coming in right now on the PV, which would be my panels on top. Batteries at 3.7 amps. Well, 55.5 volts. Power output right now is 120 volts. 0.33 kilowatts. So it's not even really trying right now. It's got plenty of power. Sun's starting to go down, so you know it'll start pulling from the batteries more as the sun goes down. Only thing it's running right now is the mini split and these lights that I cut on, and I only have 2 on right now. If I turn them all on, you'll hear the mini split spool up and start working harder. Alright, so off of this system, what do I have running? Well, I've got a mini fridge in here. Mini fridges use more power than a full-size fridge because they're smaller, so therefore it has to keep turning that temperature back up. It won't hold that temperature as long, so they tend to use more power. I do have a heat press right here for tumblers, coffee cups, stuff like that, and let me tell you, that thing pulls some massive amounts of power. Heat presses pull serious power. I've got a printer over there. I've got a 40-watt CO2 laser here with the chiller. Runs them both, no problem. Just a Bluetooth speaker radio. Right there's a computer. Heat presses here. And if you want to see what happens when you pull some power, I'm gonna turn this on and listen to the 6000 start. So you hear it spool up. I'll take you back up here so you can hear the difference in how it was running and how it's running now. So she's producing a lot more power. We're showing an output of 60, we're at 120 volts, 60 hertz. And 1 kilowatt, 1.37 kilowatts. There we go. So, as you can see, it'll handle a decent amount of power. Most time, it's pretty much maxes out. You know, you need these on a 20 amp circuit breaker if you're running them in the house. My electrical comes from this breaker here. I ran 220 off of it, neutral to this bar, ground to this bar. It comes over here to the panel, and I basically split my breakers up over here. They're basically evenly distributed for the most part, except for the one of them. But I run one set of receptacles down one side of the trailer, another set of receptacles down the other side of the trailer. You got the receptacles on the front wall, and I ran a separate breaker just for the mini fridge to make sure it had its own clean 20 amps. And then this is the mini split. So on this side, that's all I did for my lighting. I just put a receptacle in here. That's where my CO2 is plugged up. So instead of dedicating a light circuit, I just did it that way. It was easier. So this is your shirt press, mouse press, stuff like that. This is a hat press. It will not run all of it at once. You have to pick and choose. It just pulls too much power. I mean, you got two 20 amp items basically sitting here. You try to pull 40 amps off of one leg off of that thing, and it's just not, it's not made for that kind of startup power, really. I would have to have another 6,000 if I wanted to be able to do that. I mounted fans in case the weather's good or the air's not circulating great, so I can run air back towards the front. So wintertime, I can blow the hot air towards the mini split, and the cold air will come across the floor and it'll automatically rotate. I do have a, I think it says a 20 watt blue diode laser that I run off of this. I've got crickets that I run off of this. I've got exhaust fans, multiple exhaust fans, and a big one behind that I run off of this. This is your remote, as you can see, 70 degrees. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. This is a 50 watt fiber laser that will also be ran off of it. I do not have it complete yet and set up and running. It works. I just, yeah, too much to do, not enough time as usual. And right here in the center, there's probably going to be another item. Stay tuned. It doesn't release till October, and I'll be showing that on my Scorpion Metals page. But this is a setup I made purposely just for this trailer, so I could be comfortable, I could sleep in it. I'd always have food, drinks, I can cook off the front bar up there with crock pots or electric frying pans or anything like that while I'm at events, so I don't have to go out and buy that, you know, $30 burger or whatever. So yeah, that's basically why I made this setup and why I did everything like I did. So far it has proved to be absolutely amazing, but it hasn't really been tested. It did go to one event. It was during the day. It ran beautifully all day, no problem, off the solar and the batteries, but it really wasn't tested, so to speak. And where I'm sitting at the house, I'm covered by trees, so I don't get the greatest amount of sun on my panels. So if I unplug it from the house, it will eventually, it takes it about 3 days to drain those batteries with it just sitting here, you know, idle, not doing anything. But that's running the mini split 24/7, and most of the time a light's left on in here. But But yeah, so I am super pleased with the quality and the craftsmanship of their stuff. So far, I have had to call in a couple times just to figure out what the best route would be to do something, or how to set something up, or something like that. And they have been top notch and have helped me every step of the way. Great customer service. So hopefully soon I'm gonna be able to set this bad boy up and actually put it somewhere and do a real test, whether I take it out on a farm or something like that, and just, you know, spend a day in it and a night in it, seeing, you know, how well, if I'm getting enough solar off of my panels, how well the batteries, you know, stay up. Will the solar recharge it the next day, get the batteries back up like they need to be? Because I think for the amount of solar panels I have, it's going to be kind of cutting it close to get all those batteries recharged. Especially if I'm running a night event somewhere, because I'll be pulling hard on the batteries. One battery will run that mini split all night long, no problem. So that leaves me 3 batteries for lighting and running heat presses and lasers and stuff like that in an event, if it's running at night. So it'll be kind of interesting to see. I've definitely got some testing that I can do and see if I need to change anything to make anything better. But I just want to give y'all a little recap on this, how everything's plugged in, how everything works. I've got a house install I started on. I posted some videos on that before, but I'm gonna have to recap that to kind of get y'all back caught up as to where, you know, we stopped on that, and kind of what new that we did. I've got some video that I can add to it, but this is gonna take a while, and it's gonna take a few steps, but I'm gonna try to at least monthly give y'all some type of post on my solar. And I'm always going to keep their link below in the information section on the video. All you gotta do is go click on it. It'll take you right over to their site, and you can find their stuff. But so far I have been very, very pleased. And yeah, so anyway, if y'all have any questions, drop them below. I'll be sure to check them out. And like always, I appreciate y'all watching. One of the other reasons I have this is because I like to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So if I ended up without power for a few days or a week or a month, I still have heat and heating and cooling both out here. If I absolutely have to, I may have to move the trailer over in a better sun position, but it should according to the calculations, take care of everything. But my mother-in-law has to go on oxygen sometimes and uses a CPAP, and she doesn't carry the heat or too cold too well. So this gives me somewhere I can put her and keep her comfortable, grandkids, stuff like that, and still make sure everybody's taken care of, because I don't have a generator on my house yet. It's coming. But anyway, hope everybody's doing good, and we'll catch y'all next time.